Sometimes life feels like a closed door. You keep knocking on, hoping it will open again. You replay moments in your head, things you said, chances you missed, paths you didn't take. It's strange how memory can be both a comfort and a cage. We tell ourselves we'll do better next time, but when that next time finally comes, most people freeze. They forget what it felt like to lose the first chance. There was a man who once told me that every second chance comes disguised as hard work. At first, I didn't believe him. I thought life just randomly handed out new beginnings. But over time, I saw what he meant. Second chances aren't given. They're built, quietly, through small choices, discipline, and courage to face what hurt before. You might be carrying regret right now. A job you lost, a friendship that slipped away, or a dream you abandoned. Maybe it still whispers to you at night. The truth is, regret is not your enemy. It's your reminder that something inside you still cares. Regret doesn't mean the story is over. It means there's more to write. The hardest part of a second chance is not the effort. It's believing you deserve it. Guilt and doubt creep in like shadows, whispering that you've failed once, so you'll fail again. But that's not how growth works. Falling once doesn't make you weak. Refusing to stand again does. Every person who ever rebuilt their life began in the same place. Ashamed, tired, but quietly determined to try again. There's a difference between moving on and moving forward. Moving on is forgetting. Moving forward is remembering, but choosing to do better. When you waste your second chance, it's rarely because you didn't have enough talent or time. It's because you didn't forgive yourself long enough to use it. Sometimes you get a second chance in disguise, a smaller job after losing a big one, a quieter life after chaos, a new friendship after heartbreak. You look at it and think, this isn't what I wanted, but often it's exactly what you need. Life rarely repeats itself in the same form. It tests whether you've learned what the first failure tried to teach you. Think of the times you were given another opportunity, maybe to apologize, to rebuild, or to start something new. Did you walk in with the same habits, the same fears? If you did, then the new door wasn't really new. It was just painted differently. A second chance only transforms you when you transform inside it. I once met someone who spent years chasing the life he thought he lost. He wanted to return to the same house, the same job, and the same happiness. But by the time he got close, he realized something. The door he was running toward didn't exist anymore. The world had changed, and so had he. That's the thing about second chances. They don't take you back, they take you forward. You don't rebuild life by copying the old blueprint. You start again with what's left, even if it's just a handful of lessons and a quiet hope. Maybe your second chance won't look glorious. Maybe it's messy, uncertain, or slower than you imagined. But slow is not bad. Slow means deliberate. And deliberation is how you create something that lasts. Every person who's truly risen again had to face an invisible wall, the one between who they were and who they could be. On one side is comfort, on the other is purpose. Most people stay where it's safe, calling it fate. But those who walk through that wall, they find something stronger than success. They find peace. Have you noticed how life gives subtle signs when it's time for a second chance? The same mistake shows up again. The same type of person crosses your path. The same challenge reappears. It's not coincidence, it's correction. Life keeps repeating the lesson until you finally live it right. You can't skip the uncomfortable part. You'll have to admit your part in the fall, own your weakness, and start small again. That's where pride burns away and wisdom begins. The second chance is never about proving others wrong. It's about proving to yourself that you've grown. There's beauty in being rebuilt. The cracks in your story don't ruin you. They let the light in. When you stop running from your past, you finally start shaping your future. You realize that failure was never permanent. It was preparation. Maybe the first time you weren't ready. Maybe the pain you felt was the teacher you ignored. But this time, you know better. You've seen what happens when you give up too soon. You've tasted what regret feels like. So now, when life opens that small door again, don't hesitate. Don't wait for perfect timing or motivation. Just walk through it, even if your hands shake. Progress rarely feels heroic when it's happening. It feels quiet, humble, and almost invisible. But months later, you'll look back and see how far you've come. It's easy to wish for a restart button, to erase mistakes and rewrite choices. But second chances aren't clean slates. They're continuations. They carry both the scars and the strength of everything you've been through. That's what makes them powerful. You don't need to be the same person as before. You just need to be honest about who you are now. Sometimes, the real second chance is not in what happens outside, but in what wakes up inside. The moment you decide to stop repeating old stories, that's when your new life quietly begins. Ask yourself, what would happen if you actually believed you were capable of starting again? What if, instead of fearing failure, you accepted it as part of the process? Every time you forgive yourself, you create space for a new beginning. Every time you try again, you teach your future not to quit. People say time heals everything, but time alone heals nothing. It's what you do with your time that matters. You can spend years waiting for life to change, or you can take a small step and make the change yourself. The second chance doesn't arrive with fireworks. It shows up quietly, disguised as an ordinary morning, where you finally choose to try one more time. You don't need the approval of others to begin again. You don't need the perfect plan. You just need one simple belief that your story isn't finished yet. The world moves fast, but growth takes time. Let yourself take that time. Let yourself rebuild slowly and truthfully. That's how you make the second chance count. And maybe, one day, when you look back, you'll realize the second chance wasn't a gift from life. It was something you created through pain, patience, and persistence. You didn't waste it. You used it. You became the person, the first version of you always wanted to be. If you're still listening, maybe there's something inside you that refuses to give up. Hold on to that. That small spark is all you need. Because second chances don't come to those who have everything figured out. They come to those who are willing to try despite the uncertainty. You may not get the same chance again, but you'll get a new one, shaped differently, quieter, but just as meaningful. Don't wait for perfect clarity. Start now with what you have where you are. The second chance isn't somewhere ahead. It begins the moment you decide you're done wasting it. Life rarely gives warnings before it changes. One morning, you'll wake up and realize that the pain that once held you back has become the strength that carries you forward. You'll speak with more honesty, love with more patience, and live with more purpose. That's what a true second chance feels like. Not a grand return, but a gentle renewal. Not the end of the story, but a wiser beginning. And when it comes, don't waste it.